So, it looks like a regular bike. It feels like a regular bike, but apparently it's electric. Where's the motor? Hi folks, welcome to Ebike-Centre. I'm Jason and today we're looking at the Trek Fuel EXe. So, does it live up to the hype? Is it the best e-bike ever? Let's take a look at its vital stats. To start, all models come with an OCLV mounting carbon frame and magnesium rocker. They're fitted with 150mm of front suspension travel, 140mm of mid-shock. Depending on the model, they're fitted with either SRAM or Shimano 12-speed drivetrains. All have hydraulic disc brakes, and somewhere in here there's a 50 Nm motor from TQ and a removable 360 Wh battery. So let's meet this TQ motor, and for that we're going to need to spin the bike. And here it is. And here it is.
So where is it, Jason?
Well, it's funny you should ask that. It is somewhere around here. Oh, there it is. It's just tucked away nicely. It looks, to be fair, pretty much like a normal bottom bracket, so it's very, very difficult to see. Even from this side, there's just a tiny little bit of blue from the TQ motor, Vert-like logo, and that's pretty much all you can see. It is astoundingly small.
And how much does it weigh, Jason?
Again, another excellent question. It's 1.8 kilograms, which for a motor on its own it's astoundingly light. Plus, that and the battery and all the other electrics combined is 3.6 kilos, which is less than pretty much any other e-bike motor that's currently on the market, which is staggering, frankly, that they've managed to do all of this in such a small package.
Jason! Who are TQ?
TQ, did you say who are TQ?
Yeah, who are TQ?
TQ, well, they've actually been making motors for a long time. They're a German manufacturer, so they make good quality components, and these motors they've been fitting to all sorts over the years. They've been fitting to things like the Mars rover, they do lots of satellites, there's actually got lots of TQ motors are in sort of everyday household items as well. But what a lot of people haven't remembered or haven't realised, that this isn't the first TQ motor on an e-bike. In fact, the first one that was seen was on the High Bike Fly-On range, and that was when TQ produced a great big burly 120 Nm motor, which at the time was by far and away the biggest e-bike motor that had ever been seen. That too also looked fantastic. It was a circular disc itself with some massive grey silver spokes on it, but it didn't really take off, not because there was anything wrong with the motor, but the whole bike and motor combined was incredibly heavy. They were 28 kilos, which is the complete opposite of this, which is around 18 kilos, and the lightest one's actually 15. They are staggeringly quiet. They are almost completely inaudible. If you were on the trail, the sound of leaves or gravel or whatever it is that you're riding over completely drowns out any motor sound.
Jason, is the battery removable?
Another good question, my good assistant. In fact, yes, it is. Yes, it is completely removable. Most bikes that have got a battery that's integrated quite so neatly as it is in the frame here, particularly the smaller batteries, are non-removable, and that saves weight. But this one, they've managed to make it removable as well. Literally, it's a couple of bolts, and then the battery slides out from the bottom here. It's really, really easy and simple to do.
Is there a range extender for this bike?
Yes, there is a range extender. It bolts into I'm pointing at the wrong thing. They go in here. They go in here.
Jason, that's a real shock.
But yes, in answer to your question, there is a range extender, and it goes into the bottle cage. And it is the same. Have I pointed at the wrong thing again? There is a range extender option. It's 140 Wh, and it fits in a small package that will go into the bottle cage. So it's much like the Orbea Gain or the Orbea Rise. They've got a small add-on battery that fits just in there. So that's going to take your riding up to probably like 5 hours. It's a significant amount of time. With the battery on its own, if you're thrashing this bike, and I took it out and gave it a really good thrashing, 2.5 hours of riding. There's still plenty of motor power to get me home as well, plenty of battery life to get me home. So it depends on how you want to use it, but yeah, there's a huge amount of battery life for what you want to use. If you're going to try and do 100 miles of touring, then this isn't the right bike for you. But if you're looking just to have a load of fun, it's perfect. It's the best riding e-bike.
Do you want to kiss it?
Do you want to marry it? So, is it the best e-bike ever? Well, this does depend on the individual. So for me personally, is it the best e-bike ever? Actually, yes, it is. For someone like myself who's a mid to late 30-year-old, it really is. I still have enough fitness to ride a regular bike, and I don't need to switch to an e-bike. However, it opens up many, many more opportunities to me. And many people in my position as well, in this stage of their life, let's say, have commitments on the weekend, whether it be family or work, and I've probably only got a couple of hours that I can actually get out and ride a bike. But this means that I can just go a lot further. Like those climbs which take up the time, they don't necessarily inhibit me from doing it, because I am fit enough to get up those hills, but they actually inhibit me on time-wise how far I can go, and I've only maybe got 2 or 3 hours, so this bike just opens up so much more trail riding for me than the regular version of this bike does. I personally have a Trek Top Fuel, which is very similar to this bike, but it's a regular bike. But I will probably only going to get 20 or 30 kilometers of riding in on my average weekend. Something like this is going to take me probably 100% further. Going out and having fun and riding down as well as up, and the jumps and the turns and the trail riding, it's all about that enjoyment factor. And this just gives you so much more enjoyment factor. So for those people that are not sure whether they're ready for an e-bike yet or not, this is the perfect stepping stone bike to say, actually, an e-bike isn't admitting that you're not fit enough. It's possibly just saying, I don't have the time for a regular bike. This bike gives me everything I want. It gives me that time out, and that distance covered, and that extra riding enjoyment that I just don't normally get. So, are there any other questions from the floor?
What's it like to ride?
An excellent question. In short, fantastic. For the moment I first got on this bike, even when we were riding it in the car park, it feels totally different from any other e-bike I've ridden. It's just fantastic. To start with, as a bike on its own, it's a lovely riding bike. It feels fantastic. Then when you add in that motor power as well, and the silence of that motor, it really can't be underestimated just how quiet it is. It's such an amazing combo, and out on the trails, you just feel like you, but you've just got so much more energy than before. You just don't notice it's there at all. You can jump the bike, you can throw it around, it's really agile. Yeah, it's just brilliant. I've had such a good time on this bike.
Jason, how much do they cost?
To do that again, I was licking my lips.
Jason, how much do they cost?
Well, the range starts at 6,400, and that's the Fuel EXe 9.5. There are 6 models in the range, starting at the 9.5, going all the way up to the 9.9 XX1 AXS, and that's £13,500.
Thanks, Jason.
You're welcome.
You're the best.
I know. So what Trek have done here is they've taken that mid-range bike ethos, let's say, and in combination with this TQ motor, they've taken it to another level. The motor is so good and so quiet, and the frame is so nimble and agile that it is the nearest you're going to get to amplifying your legs with an e-bike without feeling any difference in riding this bike. So for those of you that were still on the fence about trying an e-bike, we strongly urge you to have a try on one of these. They're absolutely fantastic. And to use the analogy, they are just like you, but you feel stronger than you remember being. Thank you so much for joining us on this video. We do really appreciate you spending your time with us on these videos. And if you can, we'd be really grateful if you could like and subscribe. And if we don't see you in store, we will see you in the next video. Cheers. Please leave your comments below. It would be great to hear your feedback. Thanks a lot.